think it does.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hoosiers, T. Schmid, Streamlabs. What's going on?
Yeah, hi Streamlabs. It's nice to see you again today. It's that old cat.
Philip?
What are you doing, Philip?
Philip?
Aren't you supposed to be like
Wait a minute.
putting your feet up with
Supposed
like
to be going out and getting his free meals.
a fancy drink with an umbrella?
Did you go to Denny's today? Because if you didn't go to Denny's today, you're
Denny's.
never getting Veterans Day off again, ever.
Denny's and whatever else they
Yeah.
Oh, do they do free meals at Denny's?
For vets, yeah.
all kinds of places. You could go out and eat like
You just gotta milk it. You
all
just-
day long.
Yeah.
with
In fact,
your-
the goal should be to not spend a dime on food
You shouldn't
for
you
breakfast, lunch, and
shouldn't
dinner.
on Veterans Day. If you're
Just
a veteran,
for the fun of it. Also
shouldn't.
because, why you should take the rewards given to you for hard
he
work
has a
and
rotation.
dedication.
Good job, Phil.
I have a rotation, don't worry. What's your favorite place to go?
Denny's, of course. What the hell's wrong with you people?
Maybe there's better places than Denny's that do free stuff. Did I
Take
say,
it back.
Okay, Denny's is a magical, wonderful place that cannot be beaten by any restaurant ever in the...
I'm watching.
Denny's for sure.
He's crazy.
Denny's for sure. You get the most from Denny's? What
Yeah.
did they just like comp your entire meal?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Source, hello. Vod Tomato N, hello. Shirty.
What can you
14.
know? What can you know about them? You can know that they're paint, and that there are 6 colors, and that they're really bright and pretty,
Yeah.
and that we're hoping to have them released on Black Friday,
And that they don't glow in the dark.
and
There's a
that they
green-
don't glow in the dark,
They're fake fluorescents.
and that they look much brighter in real life than they do on your screen.
And there's a red that I've been using on this model actually. There's a orange.
Source, we probably have not. No, we don't typically do videos on specific things like that, I guess. I mean, other than like how to paint leather with transparents, but I mean, Jordan is painting wings now. I don't know if that will help you. Have we done any other streams where Dragon? I don't think they've ever. Either one of them has.
I mean,
Well,
did like we've painted dragon wings before, but I can't remember if it was at a point in time where it would have gotten up
Yeah.
onto the
No,
VODs.
no,
Probably not.
It would not have.
well, that's definitely something I'll add to my list of things. I'm gonna write it down. Got a little.
Is the name? Oh! I see where you could maybe get that, T. Schmid, but no, it's not.
What's that?
He asked if the name of the wash medium is pronounced any wash, because it's NEWSH, so NE wash.
Oh.
I get it.
Oh
But
yeah.
no,
No. Did we announce the name?
he posted the picture in Discord.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can talk about how close Game Delay was to having it right.
Yeah,
I mentioned him.
Game Delay
Yeah.
was super close.
Yeah. It was like eerily close. I thought he got it right for a second. I was like, wait a second. Does he know something that I don't?
He probably does. He's an attorney.
Yeah.
Ah, I see how it is.
You have to know, where have I had the sour cream apple pie? So I used to be a teacher, and there was one of my teaching colleagues would make it every year for like a potluck. That was like, we all looked forward to it. Very delicious.
I need that. Don't need this. Don't need this. Definitely don't need that. What the heck is that doing now? You know what's really funny? So I was recording a short, and I literally spent 5 minutes trying to find camo green in my in my
Camo green?
camo
Okay.
green.
Mhm.
I literally had to look it up on our website to see what the number was to find it because I was like, "What the heck? Where is it?" And it had like a perfectly clean like nub on the top.
Because you hadn't used it.
I hadn't used it in a while, but I mean I had opened it and used it before, but it was just like it looked like a brand new bottle, and it had also like settled a little bit, so I couldn't see the top of the bottle. It was really funny. Yeah. It was very embarrassing. I was like, "There's no way it's got to be gone." And then I looked at there was no holes in what I was missing, so I was like, "Huh." T. Schmidt, that would even be worse because I obviously couldn't see it. I knew where it was supposed to be, but I didn't know exactly what number it was. I had to look up the exact number. Hello, Megalodon.
Phoenix Mercer has a question. Using a Winsor Newton Series 7 brush. My brush is slightly damp like you guys show, but when I'm brushing using the side of the brush, I lose the point.
You might be putting a little too much pressure, potentially. I mean, you don't necessarily need the point to stay exactly perfect when you're using the side of the brush, as long as you're getting a nice clean edge, right? Like if I were to work on the edge here, like as long as you get a few brushes or bristles that are hitting the edge of that surface, the brush tip doesn't necessarily have to be exactly perfect. It strays like crazy.
What are you trying to do?
Sounds like your brush might
Help me understand.
So he's trying to do an edge highlights,
Uh-huh.
Phoenix, and when he's doing the edge highlights, the brush is splaying like crazy when he's trying to touch the edge of the brush to the
Is it
corner.
clean?
Yeah. Have you cleaned it? Have you used
You got
Jen's
any gunk
drunken?
building up in
brush
the
proof?
ferrule?
Yes.
You cleaned it really, really well, gotten all the junk out of the little dried flecks out of the ferrule? Because that will cause it to
Clean.
split.
Clean. You've used it one time.
Oh, well,
I
don't know. We don't make those brushes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Very
know.
hard to-
You could have gotten a bad one.
Very hard to know.
I know that I've heard a lot of other people who have ordered them in recent years
We
that
don't.
have
Yeah, we don't.
had a lot of problems
We
with
don't know
them.
anything about those brushes.
Yeah. Aside from standard care things that I could recommend, I can't help you out too much.
I would try less pressure.
Yeah, less pressure was what I was thinking initially. Let me grab the coal block.
You're not trying to press very hard as you're painting miniatures, hardly ever, unless you're just doing big sloppy base coats or something.
I'm gonna black out some of these pieces of detail on her kind of tabard down here.
T. Schmidt would like to know, Fuse, what are the pastels you recommend for DIY pigments?
Remember, I've got like the Grumbacher or whatever it is and Co. ones that I've had
These
for
are antiques.
50 plus years. I've had them my entire life. They were my mom's and grandmother's, so I would recommend those if you can find them because they're amazing. They still work after all these years.
Pigments are awesome.
Grumbacher chalk pastels for weathering and stuff.
Yeah,
you
there's
can use
some
oil
cool
pastels for other things.
Rumbacher
but-
watercolor comes up.
I've never used oil pastels before. I didn't even know that was a thing, to be honest.
Yeah. There's oil pencils, things like that. You can actually, with the oil pencils, you can use like treat them almost like an oil paint. You can come back after them with mineral spirits.
And kind of blend
You
them
can
out.
buy a used set on Etsy for $375.
Are they really?
Wow.
I mean, that looks like a maybe twice as much. It looks, the one that you have on eBay, a used one is $64.99
That's crazy.
or $99.99 that is like more used looking.
Wow, they must be really good.
Vintage Grumbacher Golden palette has fewer, and there's a $33.75 on Etsy. But yeah, when I Google pastels, eBay, it looks like all like eBay and Etsy.
That's crazy. Well, so maybe don't use the ones I use.
Yeah.
Somebody likes
I had no idea that antique and
Can't do
pastels
antique.
were a thing. I mean, I knew they were antique, but wow. That's kind of silly.
So it looks like Megalodon, you said you just picked up a box of Lorcana if you're at your LFLGS and ordered some starters, 2 boxes of sorcery. I don't know what that is, but that's awesome.
Play
Yeah,
Mickey
give-
Mouse.
Michael's options are
Play
going to be
Mickey
limited.
Mouse. Oh, it's a new one? Oh, that's cool. I like card games in all varieties that they may exist in.
He's
Find
not
them
lying.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I play a lot of them. I very much enjoy that type of gaming. I have for a very long time. I got started young in Boy Scouts. It was our favorite pastime while we were at camp. We'd bring our magic decks and play. Once we were done with our stuff for the day. At the end of a hike or something. It was fun. I have fond memories of hanging out at desert camp with like 4 or 5 of us in a tent playing Magic.
Automaton said sorcery is a game inspired by the magic from before you were born, Baby J.
Well, that's fair. I am not the youngest lad in the world,
What?
and so I'm sorry, I'm not the oldest lad in the world. My brain doesn't work. It's Friday.
Nor are you the youngest.
Nor am I the youngest. But there were many things that arrived in this world before I existed. Many things that I know about, many things that I do not. As many people like to remind me on relatively regular occasions.
Who does that to you?
You know, I don't want to name any names.
You point me at him. I will solve this problem.
You'd be pointing at yourself.
What? I never make fun of you for that you do not know. I simply help nudge you in the right direction to becoming a better human.
And how do you do that?
By pointing out your faults. Oh,
And
wait.
What faults are those? we can go down this rabbit hole and eventually we'll come to the truth.
Oh, chat, thanks for asking. Right now, I'm using...
He said all the art is traditional and hand painted. They have a bunch of the original artists from the first Magic sets as well.
That's really cool. That's one of the things I really liked about old school Magic cards is that all the old art was kind of before the time of digitally rendered illustrations. And, you know, you could buy original artwork, which I always thought was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Like, you have your favorite piece of Magic artwork, you could theoretically get your hands on the original, depending on what it was. I always thought that was really, really cool. And you think about how many pieces of art that they commissioned over the years, and it's like, it's crazy. how many pieces of art. Because they've had a lot of sets. That game has been around for a hot minute. And it's really, really neat to think that, all of this artwork exists out there just because of this silly little game. That's not
silly.
That's not so little anymore, as it turns out.
Silly?
It is silly.
You're silly.
That's true. Thank you for noticing. I find it to be one of my better qualities.
And Jordan just called my game silly.
Your game?
So the fact that I don't have a pale yellow becomes a little bit of a nuisance at this stage, trying to get highlights on, a blondish beard. So I've gone in with titanium white and the dark worm flesh and highlighted, but that's not the color I want. So then I thin down the yellow ochre and I glaze back over that highlight in random patches so that I can bring that not correct hue highlight into the type of yellow that I want. But of course, by doing so, I've now darkened my highlight up a bit. So I will have to go back and re-highlight, but now I'll be at a point where that color that wasn't quite right will be a good highlight for this base. A lot of times when you are mixing, whether forced because of a painting challenge on the Monument Hobbies Discord, whose link you would be able to find in chat.
This mouse, it drives me crazy because it goes to sleep. And
Yeah, you gotta click on it to open it back up again.
Or if you just like mixing, you might have to mix a color series that doesn't exactly match your intent and then glaze over it to get back to where you want to go, because none of the colors I have on the palette are yellow enough to create a bright yellow out of. I can't take yellow ochre and mix anything I have to get a bright yellow with it. White just desaturates it and starts getting us into like pinkish flesh tones. Same with the dark worm flesh. So I do that and then use the yellow ochre thinned to get a more yellowish tone out of the whole deal.
this is not a hoodie, but we do have hoodies, right? On our website, we have hoodies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should. I don't know if we have them in stock. We need to restock for the winter.
Okay.
There might not be all the sizes that you want, but soon we will. It only just got cold here, so unfortunately we think with our own brain.
Cold until it gets cold here.
We think with our own weather. We forget that it's been cold for everybody else already.
Source does. He's using the limited color palette from the, I almost said December,
Yeah.
November Discord challenge. He's limited to 5 colors and black and white.
I think it's more than that. I think it's 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6.
Yeah, 6 plus black and white, so it's not that bad.
Not like the first time that I gave you guys a challenge, which was difficult.
Well, check the website and see if your size is available, and if not, then
Somebody likes
enter
us.
your email address and you'll get an alert for it.
Thank you for that follow.
Why? Thank you. Let's see here. Who'd we get it from? Oh, I can't see it. Oh no, I can. Toss a coin to your Twitcher. That's great. Oh, that's funny.
Which brush are you looking for? We have almost all of them in stock. I think the Sable 4 is the only brush that's out right now.
Hipster Gumby putting a little something together.
Uncle Adams is out of stock?
That's when.
That
Between the
does
time you
not
left your
seem
desk and
correct.
now.
Let me check
Weirder
on
things have
that.
happened. But
That's true. Yeah, that may not be the case.
not out of stock.
No.
They are in stock.
Pretty sure they're in stock. When's the last time you checked? 6 months ago?
Has to be quite a long time because we've had those back for several weeks now. You're not dumb. You just gotta check. What Tomato wants to know if the matte varnish ever got sorted out.
Not currently. Admittedly, we kind of defocused on it when it didn't hit the target date to get the fluorescence and the noosh out.
It's weird saying it in public.
Yeah. Right.
We've kept that close to the vest for a while now. So odd actually saying noosh. Alright, I'm gonna paint the inside of the mouth and the teeth. Let's see here. We can do like burgundy.
Now we're getting there.
The dark plum. Alright, some dark plum here.
None of the new stuff can do that second one. Also true. Yeah.
Mix a little bit of
Source does, yeah, exactly. It's the same thing that I found. I tried to play, and I talked about it around here. I tried to play other card games. A lot of the guys around here play Digimon, and I got into Digimon for a brief minute, and I really liked the gameplay, but the game lacks the ability to do what Magic does, right? It doesn't have the creative nature of deck building the same way. It doesn't allow you to do a lot of the same things, and so it loses steam real quick. It's fun until it isn't. And then it gets so repetitive that it's no longer fun. And Magic can get repetitive too. Like if you try to play the same deck all the time, standard. But I was a draft player, and there's just no other game that tickles that nerve like Magic. Now we're playing Commander, which is more like standard, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's Tony. So my doctor told me I should consider a plant-based diet. I tried to explain how donuts are plant-based, and she was not amused.
But you were not wrong.
I mean, flour is
You weren't wrong.
from a plant.
Hoosiers, you've never played Magic in your life. It just never looked interesting. Do you like card games, though? If you don't like card games, then I understand that at all. If you like card games, then Magic is by far and away the best.
We'll be happy to, Fuker, just a couple more weeks.
Give us a couple more weeks. Black Friday. If you paid the other card games $2,000 a year like you do for MTG, I'm sure they could figure out content pipeline to satisfy. On the note of nobody else can do MTG because they get stale. If you paid the other card games $2,000 a year, what do you mean?
They'd probably spend $2,000 a year on product.
Oh,
Would be my guess.
well, they need to make better card games, and then people would. So that's incorrect logic, right? Magic came out of the gate strong. It was fun right from day one. I don't think they understood the lightning they had captured in the bottle, right? But it's I stopped playing at the first Kamigawa series stuff, and so I was around for a lot of the earlier sets, and they've had it right for so long. You know, it's like saying why nobody can overtake 40K, and 40K is a game that has a lot of problems, right? But that's like saying if you paid somebody $500,000 or $500 million every year for the next 6 years, they could make 40K. It's like, yeah, but nobody paid Games Workshop $500 million for making bad crap, right? So yeah, I don't think that works. You're looking at $1,500 a year to buy in to be a regular draft player. I mean, I didn't ever pay for draft because I won. So if you play and you get packs, you get enough packs to not have to pay the next week. That was the way it worked for me. But I get what you're saying. But that doesn't create money. Doesn't create good games. Money is given to good games, and then hopefully the business is good so that it can take the money to make the game better and create more better games, right?
Jordan, did you repaint the wings?
The wings?
Yeah.
Since yesterday? Oh, you weren't here yesterday.
I was not here yesterday.
Oh, I painted the wings yesterday.
I thought you painted the wings on Wednesday.
I started them maybe.
Oh, okay.
I think he started doing the highlights and then he glazed over the feathering, like the textures he was creating and stuff.
I did a bunch of dry brushing.
Like on the last time I saw them, I felt like they were like purple and
Division
they were
ring.
kind of
You're
like
just sour.
Before.
You're just sour.
Because I did the
have purple
the same
and
dry
green
brush.
or like purple and jade, like a dark purple or anything.
There is dark purple in this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used purple. I used a lot of purple transparent with some of the green transparent.
Okay, that's the part I'm
transparent.
remembering.
Yeah.
And they just look different.
Yeah, I went through and I did a whole ton of texturing all over the front and the back of the wings.
That's what it must be.
And
I
did
remember
more.
you painting every little highlight.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see that as much. So I mean,
yeah,
I
I
see
went
at the top, but
over it. I think in that stream I went over it and did the purple and the black.
Oh, okay.
Transparent glazes. And then I went back over it afterwards once it had all dried, and I did a little bit more texturing, and then I darkened it up a little bit more.
I know we were talking about them, so.
Yeah, I definitely wanted them to have that kind of like, not quite raveny black, but having a little bit of that kind of like sheen, that almost iridescent sheen that some of the like kind of oily black feathers can have. Not quite like that, but I think it looks cool, so I'm happy with it.
Not gonna lie, working on this Carlac model for the contest, and it might be the first time I understand when painters complain about models being so busy. What's going on, Relapse?
It can be bad, man. It can be bad.
Yeah, too much doohickeys is a soul sucker, right?
Yeah, this actually has a really nice amount of little doohickeys on them. It's a little bit of a bear to actually like hold and paint, just because of how large it is. Like I'm holding onto this gigantic base. And then I'm like painting 5 inches away from where that base is, which is a little odd, but it's definitely a really cool model. So I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
I have to admit, I was fairly snarky about Magic for years, mainly because I just didn't have the capability to keep up with the ever-changing tide of the meta, and it became unfun and felt like a job when sets started coming out so fast, and I was like, man, I just got to where I was enjoying the last one and now they're rotating out or whatever. So that's why Commander is the flavor around here, because I just bought like 13 decks and I don't ever have to worry about it. I just grab a deck. I can do rock, paper, scissors and figure out what I want to play tonight and play that all night long because it's all OP and nobody's really teching around here, so it doesn't really matter. Just play and have fun and enjoy what makes that type of card game so great, because Magic kind of leads the pack and all that. There are great other things, Digimon has some really neat mechanics that I wish existed in other games, but they don't.
They don't.
Well, huzzah, huzzah! I'll just throw back my legs and pollute my britches with delight.
And R147, thank you for the sub.
Going on 65 months.
65
Holy
months.
hell.
65? Holy cow.
Omicron, only format you play. Yeah, I had never played it before, right? Like I said, I was a limited player, so I just drafted. I would go. The only time I would play standard or anything else is when you went to a like a pro tour qualifier or something like that, where you had to compete in every one of the three. You had to do standard and then limited draft and limited whatever the deck one was. I forget what they call it.
Vision Ring, I think that what you're saying really makes the point that there are so many different games.
Yeah.
But if Magic is not for you, there are lots of other options.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a nice thing. Gaming in
Avian,
general, board
hello.
games,
Happy Friday.
about everything has got such a selection available that it doesn't matter what you like, you got an opportunity to find one that you'll enjoy playing for years and years to come. What's going on, Avian?
Avian?
Yeah, Wad. Like, I look at what is happening with Magic as far as like standard releases, and I'm not interested in that at all. Like, not at all.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, some of the guys bought like 6 boxes of Ixalan, and they're wrapping all the packs during lunch today, and I'm just breaking out in hives. I'm like, never again.
But it's okay that they want to do it.
No, it's not.
It's frustrating how Magic sucks the air out of the room. I don't know. People get really excited about it here.
We like Magic.
You can suggest, hey, go play Summoner Wars or whatever, and it's very hard to not get drowned out by, oh, just spend 3 times the cash to buy an entry-level commander deck.
Whoa. Did somebody just say Summoner's War?
Division Ring did.
What's up, Division Ring? How's it going? Got you too, huh?
Creepy said, that's not a Sons of Horus, Baby J.
Yeah, we're taking a little bit of a break. We're painting some new stuff. We're showing off some new techniques, showing people how to paint some bronze, some rock, kind of archways, some feathers, fancy red cloth, pale kind of creepy skin. On my day off, you take a break? Well, you got to coordinate those days off with me better, buddy.
I'm going to teach you something about Creepy. Creepy will show up once every 3 months and wonder why you're not doing exactly what he wishes you were doing.
Lunchbox Superhero said that red is crazy vibrant. I can't stop staring at it.
Ooh, you want to know why? Because it's got fluorescent in it.
Fuker40 said, I've started doing commissions and my friends are telling me I undercharge. Any advice you could give?
Charge more.
Charge more.
Charge more.
That's always a real tough one. I used to get asked this question all the time. And the big problem is you really have to know about are you doing commissions locally, or are you doing them like on eBay where you tend to mail order most of them out the door to people in other places, because you need to know the market that you're competing against mainly, right? So, and that's different, between local and other people that are doing it on the internet. But either way, you need to know what people are charging for similar work.
Just local word of mouth. And, Division Ring, you make a fair point that Fuker did not ask for good advice. Said any advice.
But yeah, I
So
think
there's some.
understanding what people are, number one, what is your what are you willing to ask for? Because there's always an opportunity for you to ask differently than your competitors if you believe that your style or what you're offering has value beyond your competitors. That's smart. But it's just going to be understanding, what your competitors do and how you fit into that scheme in your customer's eyes, right? Because if you're saying, I don't know, $15 a model, and somebody down the street's doing $5, and the big customer base in your area are mainly tournament players that just want to put models on the tournament and meet the painting standard and get the points for the rubric, then, that's a different story than people that are looking at you because, oh my God, have you seen this guy? He paints great. I want an army painted by him, as to what you can charge. So, just get, a lot of people will just kind of grow their pricing to where they're comfortable doing the work. Commissioning is tough. It is not an easy gig because you have to look at what the time is worth to you and then price accordingly. Some people just come home after work and painting is such a cathartic thing for them that they're just like, oh, I don't know, pay me $50 and I'll paint your army, because maybe they don't have models of their own they want to paint. They just want to paint for a friend, and the act of painting is reward enough for the deal, and then they give it away. And that's hard to compete against as a professional painter, whether you're doing it as a moonlighting gig or as a day job. It's hard both ways because then somebody goes, oh, well, so and so did it for $50, and you have to be ready to say, well, then I would get on their schedule, because I charge $15 a model, and you've got 10 models, so that's $150 with me, because you can't go to $50 if the whole time you're painting that army it sucks. And then that person's never going to come back to you again because you guarantee the models aren't going to be as good as you want to have them be painted. What does it cost for you to paint a model and enjoy painting it? That's how you charge.
It's true. And don't take stuff that you don't want to do. If you have the luxury to do so.
I was going to say, that's a tough one too, right? Because are you feeding yourself with this? Because then you got to paint stuff regardless.
True.
Or are you just doing it as a hobby? Then you can paint whatever you like.
Yeah. If you're doing it as a hobby, don't paint stuff you don't want to paint. Is my biggest recommendation. Because you will not have a good time if that is the case.
Division Ring wants to know if you've managed to hook anybody else on SW locally.
Oh yeah, what was your previous? Can you scroll up just a second? I glanced at Division Ring's previous message in response
to whatever
to
game you said that you liked that you mentioned.
Oh. Don't suck up to me, Baby J. I bet you're
Right
one
here,
of those people
Summoner
who
Wars.
wouldn't buy Crystal. Man, I have spent way too much money on that game. Like way too much money.
He's asking if you've gotten anyone into this Summoner War game.
Yeah. I have not. It's kind of a hard thing to get people into. I'm gonna be honest. It's a gacha game, so that turns people away right at the door. Because it's expensive, and even if it has a decent free-to-play experience, people will be like, well, it's expensive and I don't want to spend money on it, which is totally reasonable. But I used to not be such a smart person, and I used to spend a lot of money on those types of games. And
Jen is listening to me bitch. I'm like, you know what?
Oh, it's bad.
Like I went down the rabbit hole I was telling her about. You know what? Look at these games. She would be like, you having fun with your phone game? I'm like, this game's great. Until one night she goes, you having fun with your phone game? And I just start cursing.
Yep.
I'm like, they build this glass ceiling. It's fun and it's free to play, right? And I'm okay with that, right? And then when it starts getting a little competitive, and because I'd be playing like PvP ones or whatever, and then it would get to where it would cost you, I don't know, whatever. They all do the same thing. They start with the $199 to get the thing, and then past the $199, it's $4.99, and then $9.99, and then the next was $14.99, and then it just keeps scaling up and up and up until you're spending like $99 in a pass for like a thing of gems or whatever it is that you got to get to buy the thing, and the loot box rotation thing. It's horrible, right? It's predatory and horrible. It's a horrible business decision, but you have guys doing seminars talking about how rich they're getting off of it. I'm like, sure you are, because it's predatory. It's the same way the drug dealer gets rich, you know? And
people want them dopamine hits.
And they take the same underlying code and put a new skin on it and release it again and again and again and again and again.
Yep, it's true.
They do the math not on how people like the game, but how long they play the game and when they stop spending, and that's how they time their new releases. Right?
Yep.
And I'm like, nope.
Now, the one...
Nope.
Division Ring thinks you're talking about different games.
Yeah, I think we might be talking about different games. So Summoner's War is a phone game that came out like 7 or 8 years ago, maybe even longer. It's been out for a very, very long time. And I started playing it about a year after it came out, maybe. I don't play it as much now as I
Panic
used
Bomb
to.
is right. First hit's free.
Yeah, they always give you a little bit. It was one of the first games of that kind that they came out with.
Is what 3D printed? I don't.
Neither of these are
neither of
3D
these
printed
models.
models.
Are 3D printed.
This one is a cast resin piece, the dwarf, and his is also a resin piece.
Yeah, also cast resin.
But it's from Conquest. It's part of their artists limited edition models that they came out with.
Mm-hmm. They're like artist series is what I think they call them, if I recall.
You make STLs for printing, nice, Connie. Yeah, we have a bunch. I mean, we do. We have our own line that we're working on that are things like this that's 3D printed. Right. She's 3D printed, and we did a whole line of this pile of bodies. I've been working on a lot of 3D printed stuff. This pile of bodies is 3D printed. this guy's 3D printed. Yeah. We're not particular. A lot of good stuff out there in the world with 3D printing. We did our own line of 3D printed models.
Yeah, you did those
back in
last
2021.
year?
I think was it 2021? Yeah, 2021. We did what we called the the Mother Lovin' Paint Party, and so we did. I designed 8 models, and those 8 models we got sculpted and supported, and then 3D printed and sold so that we could do paint-alongs on the stream. So models like Ephria here.
Did you really do 8?
8, 2 per quarter.
Really?
Huh?
I feel like I only remember having seen 4 of them.
No, 2 per quarter. Right here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Because you have the one
Here's 5, 6.
that you painted in the like Pascal Blanche style.
Yeah. If you've only seen here, there's still a bunch in the case.
The monkey.
Like Ilther with the 4 arms.
Yeah.
Bingo,
the wasteland chick is there.
Because did you also do the one with the big rocket on his shoulder? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Vic,
so that's not from.
Vic had a rifle, not the rocket on the shoulder, but Vic is not up
ape
here.
with the rhino with the rocket thing on the shoulder. Is that what you're asking about?
No, I was talking about the bust with the big like cannon thing on its shoulder.
Oh no, that's not one of ours.
Okay.
That was not one of ours. Slayer Street and Awkwardish Panda, hello.
Hello.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody.
You just do the SDLs, nice. We do all sorts of stuff around here.
Well, hello, Black Wolf.
We're not afraid of any model.
Well,
Well, I
except for
say that.
Galactus.
I say that. Galactus scares the hell out of me.
Yeah. Having some sweet Zen moments over here, painting up this awesome model.
Zen moments?
Yeah, I'm just chilling over here. Very relaxed.
What's everybody doing this weekend?
Doing more of that.
Any fun plans?
More of the relaxing.
More relaxing.
Yeah. And I'm gonna actually go to that shoe store.
Next, he's going to tell us he's going to make strawberry shortcake.
No, I'm making scones though.
Oh, really?
I ordered some of that fair scone mix because I can't get it in any grocery stores here, so I ordered a couple boxes. I need a little taste of home.
Pumpkin bread and Christmas candy. It's not even Thanksgiving. Gonna eat all that Christmas candy before Christmas.
I'm excited for the
Cleaning
holidays.
your pew. Get paid to be at the range all week, and my gun is very dirty.
Oh, this is an interesting question that I had. How does okay? Hold on, let me see if I can phrase this properly. Does Arizona, particularly Phoenix, get festive during the holidays? Like, do they
There's some things.
do any like
There's
citywide
going to be
stuff?
a parade right in front. I mean,
Oh,
did you get a
again.
notice from your apartment? Because they're like literally blocking the street off.
Oh, is
Indian
that
school.
literally coming up very soon?
I have a card in my office. They
Oh,
sent
okay.
us some in the mail so that we know. It's not closing 3rd Street, but it
Oh.
closes either 7th or Indian School.
Oh, which is just as bad.
Right, both are going to be bad for you. So
Yeah.
you need to, yeah.
What days are those?
Like I said, the card's in my office. I don't know.
I'll
off the
ask
top
you
of my
afterwards.
head. We'll have to go back and look.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glendale does a big. It's called Glendale Glitters, and they
That's
do
cool.
like this whole thing. They have this.
There's a bunch
Cute
of
little
neat, like,
downtown
parade of
area.
houses for Christmas lights when
Yeah,
that
there's
time
tons.
of year hits.
They do actually. You know what? There's a ton of stuff. They have.
There's
They do. There's this big drive-through at like one of the baseball stadiums. You could drive through this whole Christmas light thing.
That's
We've
cool.
never done it, and it like it is
But there's a neighborhood that's like
synced
world
to your-
renowned for their Christmas lights
synced
over in
to
the East
your
Valley.
radio. Across the street from where we used to live, there's a street that does. They were on the Christmas decorating TV show. Like
Mhm.
there was a Christmas light competition, and they won this street. It was a
Oh, wow.
nightmare.
Yeah, but everybody was going there.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff. Zoo lights, yeah, that's a good one. I haven't been to zoo lights in a long time. The last time I went, I mean, it's probably been 10 or more years, and
No, we went.
it was lame. We didn't go to zoo lights. We went to the botanical garden.
Oh, that's right.
The botanical garden luminary festival is really cool.
Neat.
Yeah, you can go ice skating. Downtown has an ice skating rink. If you
Ooh,
wanted to
this-
do that,
this
Tempe
is
usually
cool.
has an ice skating rink. There's tons of stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's one of the things. I used to work around Bellevue and back in Seattle or Washington, and one of the cool things is that downtown Bellevue would always get like super spruced up
Yeah,
for
they
the holidays.
They do all that stuff.
Yeah. And I always used to love to go down there and have dinner and visit with people, and it was just like a cool environment to enjoy the good holiday vibes.
Yeah.
So
There's lots of stuff.
yeah.
Happy
like the
birthday, R.
holidays.
Scott. Warpgate, good afternoon to you.
Happy birthday, R. Scott.
Birthday means big plans. Yeah, what do you got going on the weekend on your birthday?
A big birthday party planned. Painting Shatterpoint.
Oh,
Nice.
Kami, yeah, like they're saying, no, these are all resin 3D printed. MSLA or similar. FDM will give you too many texture lines. You can smooth it out, but it's a lot more work. With the advent of resin, I don't know that I would ever suggest printing anything FDM other than
Terrain.
tool prototypes and terrain. Yeah.
Has a lot of fantastic uses still, but it's not quite as efficient. Adding a little bit of burgundy glazes to the shadowed areas of this hood or shawl or whatever the heck this is called. I don't know what this is called. Oh.
Bakamaro said I printed the Hag House from Loot Studios in resin that weighs as much as my cat. FDM all the way for big terrain.
Yeah. Or hollow. Printed hollow. Veil, says Awkwardish Panda.
Veil.
Could be a veil.
That's a much better term to describe it.
Is the Hag House like what's her nuts walking house with the chicken legs?
Yeah, you're talking about
Baba Yaga. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Warpgate, how you doing, man? Spitfire's like, what's her nuts? I'm like, oh, what's his nuts? Or what's her nuts? When I can't remember her name. Excuse my French.
That's not French.
That's not French.
Wait a minute. What's her nuts isn't French? I've been
not
lied to my whole life.
Just want to let you know, that one, not French.
First time watching Twitch, welcome.
Hello. Welcome to our
Oh, nice.
crazy place of fun and enjoyment of painting things.
That's awesome. Glad to have you. Hopefully we don't scare you away from the
Lots of
concept.
nuts. Like on 30 Rock, they had this character. She was horrible. Her name was Hazel. What's her name? Like WASSERNAM or
Oh,
something.
that's funny. What about you, Jason? You doing anything fun this weekend?
Me?
Yeah.
Ask Jen. I don't know.
You gonna do some shopping for stuff for the new house?
We did that last weekend.
Ooh.
Got it all already.
That was last weekend. She doesn't get to have me do that twice.
It's already done.
That's not how that works.
Done
Was
in
it
the house.
successful?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You guys got
Yeah, we
anything
do have to.
super fun?
We do have to like install said furniture this weekend.
Well, not we just have to put it in the right spot. Yeah, I guess that's an installation. It doesn't. It's probably going to take 30 minutes.
That's like one of the most fun things to have happen is to get all the new furniture for the house. Get
Yeah.
everything looking kind of settled almost.
It's been settled. It's just now we're looking at
Now we're making it
not using the old stuff, getting
warm
stuff
and
that makes it
welcoming,
unique.
too,
To,
and like, you know, we have nothing hanging on our walls. Nothing to decorate.
Yeah.
Black Wolf. I don't control that part.
Oh
He is
no!
allowed to have fun. Does not have. I don't have to give him permission for that.
Sorry, guys. I may have gotten a splotch of dark jade right in the middle of the veil on her forehead. Gotta clean that up real fast. Just taking a damp brush and wicking away that paint while it's still wet. Kind of killed some of that bright.
Hey, for
Very nice.
Cammy, I'm not sure if I understand your question. Yeah, are you asking what we sell? Because we make paint and paintbrushes. That's a link to our website.
You know what's really cool that I've noticed over the last couple of days? We've had a lot of new people showing up.
Yeah.
I think the change in time has been really interesting to to let new people get a chance to see what we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
which is very cool. It's always exciting to get new folks in here. We love to see you guys. Drop us a follow if you want to continue hanging out and seeing all the stuff that we do. Hearing more fart jokes.
Spitfire Miniatures, your roommate's going to use Procryl for painting model trains. Great.
Very cool.
I always love when we hear people on other hobbies who have found our paint to be great. We have a lot of people in like Gundam and military scale modeling that have switched a large portion of their painting material over to us, and that's always great.
Okay, for Kemi, are you in the U.S.? On our website, you'll also see a store locator where you can find, possibly find a store locally to you.
Even if you're not in the U.S.,
Yeah, even if you're not in the U.S.
we have stores all over the world.
Black Wolf, thank you. Panda, we love to hear that. This month's challenge did you in? Like, converted you or like made you be done?
That could be construed two
Go
different
either way.
ways.
I'm doing it right now. I'm painting this dwarf with this month's challenge.
From Pakistan, I see. I don't think we have any local stores in Pakistan or even in that part of the world. But we do have international resellers. And thank you for that follow, Lilica23.
Thank you. Welcome.
We do business with a couple of companies in Pakistan,
Yeah.
actually. One of our tool-making partners.
Cool.
Oh, very cool. Awkwardish Panda used this month's challenge as a way to paint one mini with just our stuff. And says, I'm hooked.
Awesome. Like to hear it.
Another one.
Division Ring, you don't have to force yourself to do that. Division Ring said, at this point, I need to force myself to pull something other than Procryl off the shelf. Like, you don't, though. You can just use the Procryl. It's fine. We don't mind.
Pardon me for just a second. Trying to get at a weird angle here.
Oh, in Hungary, if you get a scholarship, well, good luck.
Only a couple more things to get done on this model before I think we're looking good. Finishing all the stuff on the front. And then I gotta do this like discolored bit on her legs in some color.
Spitfire, you say you're not experienced enough
Yeah,
to
what is
solely
that?
rely on PA paints. Is that because when you say that, and I'm generally interested, is it because you are still feeling more comfortable painting in things like color triads? Because our paints work great for beginners. I'm assuming you just mean that you don't have all of the colors that you would you would still have to mix some that you think you need. Hoosier's awesome. Oh no! I didn't take it that way. I'm just interested in finding out what your experience is as you're going through as you're saying you're not experienced enough.
Yeah, is that something that you feel that there's a need for something different? I don't know. Bakamaru said, Baby J or Jason, I see you both put color down and wipe some away with a finger occasionally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes for blending, sometimes for oops.
Yes.
As a, I don't understand this one. I'm not sure if it's a typo. As a man of carriage, how would you perform that quick wipe away in a hard to reach area?
Hard to reach is generally get a damp brush
Yeah.
and do the same thing. If you can't get your finger in there.
I
You'll
got
find me get my pinky into tight spots and whatever. I'm just kind of dabbing it so that I can blend it out in most cases. And then, like I said, every now and then there's an oops I'm clearing up. But
a lot of the time the shadow kind of creviced areas, it'll just hide most of it anyways, so you don't have to worry about it as much. Sorry, Jen.
No, I was just going to read Division Rings comment. Really looking forward to this new slow dry oil acrylic, whatever it is, medium. Gotta be sure I grab a few bottles before they sell out. We'll have a lot.
Good old noosh.
And if it sells out, we'll make more. Megalodon, I'm seriously considering taking art class to work on my knowledge of colors and other techniques.
awesome.
Cool. If you have questions about that stuff too, feel free to drop it in here. We are happy to converse about it.
Yeah, I feel like we can save you some time and effort with that.
Yeah.
Spitfire said I'm not confident enough to mix paints just yet. That's the main thing I meant.
That's what my guess was, and that's fine. A lot of times what you'll see us doing is teaching you how you don't really have to. You know, I've done a lot of painting where it's no mixes at all. No mixes, not even using blending.
Yeah, do you have the Thanos over here?
Oh yeah. Yeah, like Thanos is a good example. It was done also in a cartoon style, so it was showing a lot of different things at once, but this is, you know, no mixes and no blending. And being able to just, you know, it's all about color placement and brush control at some points, right? But it does all take time, spending time deciding what you want to be doing, what you feel most comfortable with, what you think you'd like your style to be. A lot of that is grown out of the things you appreciate the most in the art that you're trying to do. So you'll find yourself gravitating towards certain artists and the way that they paint and, you know, kind of replicating, mimicking those things. But then with your own hand and your own eyes and your own style, you create an offshoot of that becomes your own. And so a lot of it is just you picking your direction, so to speak.
Lacamaro, I've never heard that phrase before. I learned something new today.
What's that?
That a man of carriage is a nice way of saying a big fella. A man of carriage.
Carriage. Okay,
Yeah,
I did not know
like a
this. I thought he
carriage.
misspelled something. I thought spell check got the better of you.
As also being a man of carriage, I use a brush for
Man
those
of carriage.
instances.
I like it.
You have clients from us for just design STL. You can't print for them the figures, yeah.
Jason's impossibly impressive. I can't believe it's not oil weathering goop.
I like that title better.
Not goop.
Make it happen.
No,
That doesn't fit on the label.
we only have one goop.
I can't wait to hear Gabe hear you be like, "Hey, we need to change all the labels for this."
It's already in the picture.
Yeah.
Can't change it.
Division ring, yeah. High contrast, unblended paint job, yep. It can be a lot of fun.
Slayer
It teaches
Street,
you a lot, actually.
you love that astronaut.
What astronaut?
I don't know.
The one that you painted with the
Cosmo?
Yeah, Cosmo.
Were we talking about that?
I don't think so.
This is one of my favorite artists.
Cosmo is another.
That was one.
There's a lot of wet blending on Cosmo, but no mixing. So we didn't mix any colors. We just wet blended everything on there, and I think I used 6 colors.
Oh,
This
I
is-
see. You guys
this
are
was a
talking
good
about,
study.
Okay.
This was a good study in limited palette and still being able to get really cool lighting effects and mood set with a limited palette. And using a very high contrast color scheme with bright, vibrant colors.
Broken Chef said, I still use contrasts and washes. I'm not confident in my transparent uses yet. Like our transparent paints? Is that what you're asking?
Spitfire, we have a gloss and we're working on our matte. The matte should have been out already, but we had some issues with it late in the design process, so Yeah, this was a fun one. We did this in like an hour and a half.
Yeah, that one was super fast.
Did you intend to do the Pascal Blanche kind of color palette?
Yeah, it was kind of an homage to Pascal.
Yeah. I love that guy's artwork.
I mean, he's just working off of like old French sci-fi artist palettes. It's not a Pascal Blanche palette, but it was colors that he tends to gravitate towards. Yeah. You know, it's very Mobius.
Yep. But
Mobius was a little bit more desaturated.
I really love that color palette and the way that he utilizes it. It's really, really pretty.
Songer is asking if there's a video posted on how to use our paints like contrast. Ninjon has one, right?
Does a really good one.
Yeah.
That was prior to our glazed wash medium, I do believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's also already on the list.
But he uses it with the contrast medium, I believe. He uses the
transparents. Yeah, he uses GW's contrast medium with our transparents to make a better contrast paint. We have since created our glazed wash medium that will do the same thing, but all in our Pro-Acryl ecosystem, so to speak.
Gilded Lion. Taco Bell sounds so good right now.
Did you talk about? Were we talking about Taco Bell? Was there anything mentioned?
I don't think so. I think it's just a random comment. That's why I laughed at it.
Well, and that's what I thought.
It's a very me
That's
thing.
what I was thinking. The astronaut, was like, I really like the astronaut. Like, were we talking about that? But yes, that one was relevant. The glazed medium and Taco Bell.
Yeah. Megalodon says, "Sweet, have the glazed and wash medium good to go." Yes, that was part of the reason why we made sure to get that stuff for you. Because all you have to do if you want to use it, like you want to make your own kind of contrast paint equivalent or speed paint equivalent, you just mix like 3 parts of glaze and wash medium to 1 part of transparent anything, and then add a little bit of water to get it nice and fluid, and it functions just like it.
Solvic, what's going on?
Spitfire, thank you. Spitfire said, I really do appreciate the easy use of Pro-Acryl paints, though. The coverage is great. The viscosity is great. I find it easy to control with my brush. The fact that it's ready to go right out of the bottle is fantastic.
Awesome. You're seeing all the things we hope people would see. Consistency, ease of use. It's funny because we have more painters who, or I guess the way to phrase this is we have very few complaints from newer painters who get our paints. The typical answer there is, oh my God, why did I not find this paint first? Because our paint is very simple to use, very consistent. Pick the color you like, paint with it, go, you're done. And the bigger pushback that we have gotten over the years of making Pro-Acryl is from people who have been painting for a number of years. And they'll be the ones that have the comments like, I don't think this is a really good paint for beginners because XYZ. And it's like, well, you've been painting for a dozen years and you have your techniques, and you don't like the way our paint works with your technique, and now you're saying that somebody that doesn't paint like you won't enjoy our paints. And after you have the conversation, they'll go, oh, we had some people sit down with us like at Nova Open or at the shows where they're at, and they'll use the paints, and they'll be like, oh, I get it now.
It's always lovely at those types of shows. I had a lot of those experiences at like you said, Nova and Gen Con.
Yeah, and then those people like switch over completely once they get the feel. It's so interesting how people are like me. You're like an old dog with no new tricks. You just pick it up, you use it, like, no, not for me. You missed the whole point.
Megalodon, literally just our names at Monument Hobbies. Yep, Jason, Jen, Jordan.
Jason, Jordan, Jen, yeah.
Gabe.
Oh, if you're trying to
Philip.
Email us?
Kyle. Carter. We all have them.
I gushed a bit to my licensing director.
It's funny, I just mixed a bunch of colors just so that I could make dark worm flesh. Like I'm looking,
really?
I'm looking and I'm like, oh, so this is the color this is the color I just mixed, not using any dark worm flesh, and this is dark worm flesh.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
I've done that before.
This is what doing a limited palette does to me a lot of the time. Is I'm like, I need a brighter flesh tone, and I make it, and I realize, oh, I have that. So, yay.
Yay.
Yay me.
JP Gray, hello to you.
Go team me.
I don't know that we're all robot-loving people here, but hello.
I like robots.
Jen loves robots.
You know, I get the feeling that that's a lie.
Huh?
I get the feeling that he's lying to me right now.
Me?
Yeah.
I mean,
What?
I would say that I don't really have an opinion one way or the other on robots. However, I do have concerns about robots taking over.
Yes.
I mean, that seems reasonable.
Here,
The
here.
self-driving cars, I think, are the sign of the end of the world.
Someone just the other day driving the wrong way on the interchangeable lane on 7th Street.
Oh, great.
And then it made me think, like, how do they program that?
Oh, you saw like one of the automatic cars?
Yeah, nobody in the driver's seat.
Oh,
Going the wrong direction at the because it was the wrong time of the day for them to be headed south. I was headed north on 7th, right? Coming back from one of those meetings I went to.
yeah.
This is a self-driving car
That's when
coming southbound.
If you if you don't live in a place with a bazillion self-driving cars,
That was so.
Just wait. They're trying to make sure it comes to your
Yeah.
area too.
It was so weird.
then I would like to say that your opinion is
Has
still
less
waiting
value.
to be developed. Like, you've got some time because there's a lot of people like, that sounds so rad. Well, does it though?
Everybody's like, well, we have wrecks with humans too. I'm like, horrible logic. Horrible logic. They just shut it down in California because one of them like ran over a guy, and because it had hit something, the logic was to stop, so it just stopped on his body.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Yep. Yeah, Division Ring. He did that very, very quickly.
The what?
And it's not the Statue of Liberty though. I thought so at first too. When you actually look
this?
at it, you can tell it's not.
It
yeah.
kind of does look like the Statue
It
of Liberty.
totally
It
does,
does
except
kinda.
the hair.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah.
that top part, yeah, is different, but it looks like it could be.
Yeah. This probably took me 20 minutes to do.
If that, yeah.
If not faster. The spikes on.
Hey, somebody
yeah.
likes us.
Well, Spitfire, they drive around without humans all over the place in downtown Phoenix.
They can't go on the highway without humans.
No, not yet. But they drive all over the place around here.
They get around.
And I think I read that California will reinstate their ability if they agree to putting humans in all the cars. But I still love the conversations. The conversations are like, we've only killed 6 grandmas.
It's like that answer should be, we have killed nobody.
I feel like no grandmas is a lot better. I feel
We
like
all-
hitting nobody's pets and nobody walking and nobody nothing.
JP said the goal is actually humans with robots implanted in them, not just robots.
Not sure I like that any better either.
True or false, was Herbie the Love Bug a harbinger of the future of self-driving cars?
Our robot overlords. The first Terminator. That, and I feel like Electra Woman and Dyna Girl's car drove itself too sometimes, didn't it?
Avian, that happened here. And there was a person in the self-driving car watching TV.
Yep.
And ran over and killed someone.
Yep.
And yet they continued with the project. That was like
Yep.
2 or 3 years ago.
Tesla? No.
They're a Jaguar.
Yeah, they're Jaguars.
Is that all the ones that are out here?
For the,
Yeah.
was it Vimo?
Yeah,
Waymo.
something like that.
Wemo.
Waymo.
Waymo.
Yeah, Waymo, yeah.
A couple of them moved here after California kicked them out.
Toss a coin to your Twitcher, said OMG, someone remembers Electro Woman and Dinah Girl.
Ha!
We're old.
Electro Woman and Dinah Girl.
Oh yeah, and then there was Kit, the Knight Rider car.
Oh, Knight Rider car too, yeah. Definitely a Terminator.
Did Uber do self-driving cars creepy? I thought it was just I thought it was the same as the ones we have now. But yeah, Tempe, it was in Tempe for sure. JP Gray, Jason, guess what I did today? I got a haircut for my job.
Hippie.
All the hippie is gone.
About time. Cut your hair, get a job, hippie. Well, I've been saying that for, what, 4 years?
Slavic, did I hear you guys are putting out a smaller go bag? We will have a smaller version of the go bag, yes.
I've even shown it on stream.
Yep.
More than once.
Well, that was me just tapping the model to blend right there. We were talking about that earlier.
We do it so kind of without thinking about it a lot of the time that it can be really easy to just like not think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Was Electro Woman and Dinah Girl, was that part of Sid and Marty Croft?
I think so.
I feel like it was one of the...
Yeah, it was the same as Sigmund and the Sea Monster. Or Sigmund the Sea Monsters. So yeah. Same Croft Power Hour.
The one, our go bag Evo, it fits on an airplane. Carry-on size.
Yeah, Jason and I took them both to Nova and also to
You can't take the paint in it.
Comic-Con. Yeah. Correct.
But
Some people
you
have, but we don't guarantee that you can do that.
I'm gonna say you should not take the paint in it, but the smaller one won't. You can't take the paint in that either because it's still half the amount. But you can't take that much liquid on a plane.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's kind of in a gray area.
We're just gonna say that our position is you shouldn't take your paint.
I agree. Yeah.
Because I don't want anyone coming back saying, "Well, mine said I should try it."
Yeah.
Not telling you to try it. I'm telling you to pack it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we basically take the paint and you can put it in your checked luggage.
Yeah.
That you can do.
And then put all of your carry-on
In your go bag.
in your go bag, and it's your carry-on bag. Works like a champ.
We even we'll put all of our minis in our bags. You can get the Pluck foam trays, and you can stick them in there. And they work great for transporting your minis to shows. Then you can just pack the paints in a separate.
Spitfire, at this time, we do not have any plans to start any commission painting services.
No.
There are loads of great painters out there.
A bunch of them are our monumentals.
Correct. Check them out.
Tons of people you can go get amazing paint from. We paint to show off how to paint.
Mm-hmm.
Go Sue, have a good weekend.
Take it easy, Gosu.
Thanks for hanging out.
Bye, Gosu.
K for Cammy. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye, Cammy. Megalodon. I'd be too afraid to hire Baby J for commission after the deluge of condiment jokes I had said at his expense. I'm a professional. Wow. You realize I work for you, right?
I know. It only reflects poorly on me. And And I'm okay with that.
Slavic, he's using the wet palette just specifically for this project because he's using the limited palette from the Discord challenge. Can you paint my minis in just ketchup?
There's not enough
You-
money in the world.
You can paint your minis in just ketchup if you want.
Gonna say, I can show you that technique real quick.
Is the wet palette even wet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sure
I had to
it's
go
damp,
re-wet
as it
it. I
should be.
hate it.
But not overly saturated.
Jason is not a fan of the wet palettes.
I literally walked into the studio and immediately started bitching when I realized that I had to go re-wet the wet palette before I could paint. And God
didn't
bless
like it.
America.
Oh, that's funny. He really did. He's not lying.
When do you get the moist palette? When you put a little bit less water on your wet palette.
Yes. Or let it sit for an hour in Arizona.
I'd be afraid that Baby J would paint over anything I paid him to paint before getting it.
You guys are harsh.
He just shows that it's okay. It's possible. You don't have to strip a model. You just paint over it.
Correct. It is okay to repaint
It's a
things.
teaching opportunity, is what it is.
It's
when he does
okay,
that.
everyone.
He just reminds everyone. So every once in a while, we all need a reminder.
Thanks, Jen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got you.
appreciate it. Somebody's got my back. Tried
Because
doing
of
the pulling from
because
the
he's
dot.
using the limited color palette and he wants to mix the colors.
Yeah, I have all 6 of the colors live on the palette so that I can mix them as I'm going because I don't have a plan. If you've been watching me paint for long, you know that I never really have a plan. And so when using a limited palette and I'm having to mix all of the colors in various forms and fashion to get the colors on the model, right? Then I want all of the colors. So I have all the colors of the palette around in a circle, and then I'm pulling them into mixes in the inside of the circle, and then using the mixes to mix together and things like that. So I'm getting tints, tones, and shades of all these colors, reusing a lot of the colors time and time again. So it just helps to have the mixes not dry up immediately since I'm not working very fast.
Tammy, chat might be able to help you. Do you guys have any suggestions? Do you guys know any 3D print Twitch streams that focus on 3D printing?
Oh, not painting, but like 3D
3D
printing
printing.
things.
Hmm.
I feel like that's kind of a tough one to get on camera. I mean, I guess you could do the whole process of like doing supports and doing keying and that sort of stuff for.
I don't.
But I can't think of anything
You
either.
might even just search 3D printing and see. Right? You can search keywords and
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah, I can't off the top of my head think of anybody that focuses on it here, but that doesn't mean
Oh,
there
there we
isn't
go.
somebody that at least talks about it. I know that some of, like Jordan said, some of the support guys used to do it. Greg.
Chat's coming through with some suggestions.
Okay, good.
I figured they would.
Oh, shoot. Okay, Slovak has a question probably for you, Jason, because it's a dry palette related question. I tried doing the pulling from dot way the other day and found that even my dots were drying really fast. Any guess what I was doing wrong?
Well, I mean, acrylic paint dries quick. So you may not be doing anything wrong. It may just be that that's what you're going to get in your climate, right? We're in Arizona. It's super dry here. So we're always fighting it. So just don't put as much paint out and add more paint to your palette in, like every 30 minutes or something if you have to. That's what I do all the time. You'll pull from dots like you're learning from me, and
It
that'll
sounds-
give you longer work time than you would have had otherwise. But you still have to add fresh paint to your palette every so often. And depending on where you're at and time of year and all that kind of stuff, it could be, more often than you like. So just put less out every time so that the real goal is to figure out how fast whatever paint it is you're using dries and put out a dot that allows you to use most of it before you have to add more so you're not wasting a bunch of paint.
JP and Trashorama, do you guys know, is that Maker Deck, is that on Twitch? Yeah, live streaming 3D printing doesn't seem like there would be a lot to watch.
No, but a lot of people talk about like supports. I know Greg, the guy that we worked with once to support the paint party miniatures. He had a live stream he was doing for a while, and he puts it up on YouTube, but I can't remember his name. I can't remember what he goes by.
Both are from Twitch. Awesome. Yeah, check those out.
I think that some of the 3D printing YouTubers have got Twitch channels where they do talks and product reviews and things like that, out of boxings.
That's probably the best way to try and find some. Painting all these talons black. Then I'm gonna paint this kind of like rough, kind of wrinkled leg, and then on both of them, do a couple more highlights on this bronze on the bit on the belt. Paint the belt. I think we're pretty much done. Should be able to get it all done in the last half hour of stream.
Oh yeah, it is.
I think
3:29 already. Jeez.
Crazy, right?
it goes by real fast. I feel like I've noticed that on this new schedules. I feel like the streams go by a lot faster. Even on like Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where we would normally stream for only 2 hours.
What I'm hearing is that stream is boring for Jordan sometimes.
No, that's not how that works. I think I would rephrase it this way. I think because I'm enjoying this time slot, I think it's a great time for me to get more into the project and get more into hanging out with chat. And as a result, time flies faster. Faster than it does normally.
Oh. 3:39 a.m. in Pakistan, huh?
Well, that's late.
That
Late
is
or early?
very early late.
Very early.
Might do a little bit of airbrush filtering on this just to get a little bit more color into the skin, maybe. I think we're definitely going to do the same color that I did on the feathers on the claws, which was a mixture of purple and blue and black transparent.
Jordan is painting a Conquest model.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's the one you're asking about because Jason would not be
Dwarf.
mistaken for a vampire.
Yes.
Yes,
This one definitely looks like a
Fallen
vampire.
Divinity. Rashorama asked if it was one of the GW Vampire Counts models.
No, it does kind of have a similar, like, vague, kind of bizarre, like, it kind of looks like, what's the name of that model?
Laukavai.
Laukavai, yeah. It kind of has that same sort of feel to it, to some extent.
Megalodon, your wet palette's not supposed to make paint last for days.
Nope.
With Procryl specifically, how long on a wet palette is long enough before you throw away and start fresh? Is it based on paint consistency, or regardless of how it looks after 2 or 3 days, just start fresh?
I just go, every new session, I start with new paint.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to change paint out during the session here in Arizona because it just gets dry too quick.
Yeah.
The wet, I don't want to go on my rant. Try not to rant. The wet palette does not do what the placebo says it does, right? As a matter of fact, somebody in chat just posted today, and I thought it was very fortuitous that Squidmar did a video today that was 8 lies we've told about painting on his videos. And one of his lies is that paint stays good on a wet palette. And he goes in depth and says all the things we always say about a wet palette. So it's nice to see someone with a big
Watch that
following,
video.
with a lot of people who pay attention to him and thinks he's a voice of reason, for him to come in and admit that, hey, we were wrong, the wet palette isn't for that. And he, you know, I don't know how long he's used a wet palette, but the idea, the placebo that is sold to us about wet palettes is that it makes acrylics usable for longer periods of time. And this is true, but that longer period of time could be anything from 10 minutes to maybe an hour. Maybe if you're in a very humid climate, maybe multiple hours. You may be one of the lucky few who has it all dialed in and the paints you're using work to where you can get your wet palette out of the refrigerator at night or the next day and still be able to activate your mixes. But the one thing I can guarantee is that evaporation has occurred and you're introducing solids into your paint. Guaranteed. There is nothing in the world of physics that allows for there to be any difference there. Some of your paint is drying. I talk about it like queso, like melted cheese. When it's melted, it's still hot. You can still dip your chips into it or whatever, but it's forming a skin on the top. Your paint's doing that constantly. And that skin is a solid that now you're mixing in with the paint. And then when you paint and you get texture, it's because you're contaminating the paint with dried paint on the wet palette. That's just the way it works. And so use it for what I'm using it for right now, which is to keep the mixes I need going during the session I'm working. And at the end of that, clean the paper. If you have paper that can be cleaned, wash it off. And next time you sit down to paint, put new paint on it. Just treat it like a little bit of a benefit over a dry palette, and that you're not having to constantly remix and put new paint on it. It'll keep this color. I've been working on the same flesh color with various additions for most of the stream. So
Thank you for those follows. I'm going to say Honey Lemons because it's fun to say.
fire's off.
And Mr. Fire's off. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you for the follows.
Slavic wants to know which wet palettes you guys are using.
What are you using? A Game Envy?
No, I'm using Red Grouse.
Oh, the Red Grass.
Yeah.
And I'm using a palette that we were looking at working with a manufacturer to perhaps produce, so it's not a brand you would
Not
know.
available. Ghost Hunters in Florida. Pro Curl lasts maybe an hour on a wet palette. Gilded
about right.
Lion Minis said paint stays good on a wet palette for like an hour.
Yeah. An hour is a really good way to look at it. But again, it can differ from zone to zone. In Arizona, an hour is stretching it. You know, sometimes I feel like an hour is like, oh my God, if I get an hour, that's great. I don't use them because of that, because most of the time it's like, well, it takes more maintenance on my wet palette than it does to just use my dry palette. And then on your dry palette, you just allow yourself to understand how long it is until you have to add paint, like I've been saying to people in chat, and you just add more paint, so that you're not wasting. Because a lot of us will just instinctively put out a big blob of paint on the palette to start painting with that color that day. Well, don't. Start with about half as much as you think you need, right? And then add to it if you run out of usable paint along the way, right?
Cami, we are here for about 25 more minutes every day, Monday through Friday. We stream from 2 o'clock p.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, which might not make sense to you. Yeah, it's this time. We started 2 hours ago, or like an hour and a half ago, and we end in about 30 minutes. No one said you can dip chips in your paint. Please
Most
don't.
Certainly not.
Thank you for the follow. Your name has a lot of letters in it. I'm going to go with Nico Nova. I'm going to call you that. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Cowgirl Steve, that sounds about right. I'm always using fresh paper and paint every session, and it works for my paint sessions, but no way I'd try and push it multiple sessions, and that's upstate New York.
Yep. Yeah, the story's about the same all over the world. Some people are aberrations and will say they get more time, and that's fine. But don't bet on it. If you bet on an hour, you're going to be pleasantly surprised if it goes over. You know, but it's really intended to make your paint work well for the session you're doing, not for the session you plan on doing tomorrow. Acrylic just doesn't work that way. You can't battle physics.
I can't remember the last time I tried to actually get a full second session out of a wet palette paper. It's very rare.
I mean, I've been using. This is the same piece as yesterday, but yesterday I put a new piece in, right? So on day 3, I've used 2 pieces of palette paper so far.
Songer, it might look like queso, but it's not. So please
It doesn't
don't eat
even
it.
look like queso. Where are you
Please
going for your
don't eat
queso?
it.
We need to get
Ghost
you a better
Hunter,
restaurant.
Maybe around the same time as Plaid, but probably not.
Oh, speaking of queso, how was Arriba last night?
Very good.
Was it delightful?
Very good.
Did you get the
Not
queso?
the best it's ever been, but yeah, we typically get queso. The kiddo likes queso, and I like queso on my carne asada.
They set their queso on fire at Arriba.
Do they?
Yeah, Arriba's queso is served
Oh, snap.
flaming.
I really like their like fundito is really good. That's what it's called, right? Fundito?
That's what they serve on fire.
So fundito.
Honey Lemon said, my beloved does miniature painting. He does D&D figures, Gundams, Warhammer, and the like.
Awesome.
It's okay to ask what pointers would you give him? There's a lot.
Oh boy.
Does he watch any streams?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Because
take
our
a.
streams are truly tutorials. So we give lots and lots of pointers every day.
Yeah, the biggest thing is everybody's at a different point in their journey with art of any type. And so, we can give like generic pointers, but they may not really be suited. So people will come in here and ask questions. Other streamers, other YouTube channels, things like that. There's such a wealth of information available to painters right now that just being able to go and pay attention to them will get you more learning than you'd ever get on your own. I've been painting for over 45 years, and I would have, increased my painting capabilities much quicker given today's availability of information when I was a kid. Everything at your house is served flaming. That's why we eat a lot of sandwiches. Flaming sandwiches? Wait a minute.
Tacos ay in Lafayette, Colorado is so good. Closest thing I've had to my San Diego tacos.
Nice.
I just like the name.
Ay.
Ay, ay, ay.
There was a really good Mexican restaurant off of the highway around Fort Collins. I think it was after Fort Collins, or no, maybe it was before Fort Collins, but after Loveland.
I went there.
We went there, didn't we?
I went there.
Oh, you went
I
there.
was there because you told me about it.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I told you, I'm like, oh, hey, I went to this place.
And that was the
I
one.
think that's the place that I used to go.
Yeah, it was really good.
I don't remember the name of it. It had like a horse
Yeah.
in the front, maybe like a horse statue.
Well, I think she's talking about Palominos.
Oh, that's a horse, right? So that
Palominos,
sounds right.
yeah. That was Palominos, and that was Fort Collins area. I don't know if it exists. I think when we went up there last time, it might have closed and become something else. I don't remember.
We didn't go. I don't think we tried to go there when we.
No, I think we drove around that area, though, with Virginia and Carter. You're back. Let's end this session.
Palominos in Loveland. Yes.
Oh, it's Loveland then. Yeah, Loveland.
Yeah, I don't think when I travel.
Kind of
I
over
don't
towards
like
the
Loveland.
area
Fort
of
Collins was when
the
we
hockey
went.
rink.
Yeah.
Because I used to go there before going to see hockey.
4 stars on Google.
It's a good place.
Stars don't mean anything.
When it comes to food,
It's all subjective.
it's also. I mean, well, all ratings are subjective. Maybe read a few of them and see, because what we learned is that sometimes people will give it 1 star if your order arrives a day late, which for a restaurant would be bad.
That would be unacceptable.
But read the reviews. Don't just go by the stars. Well, so there you go. You were burned hard by a 4.7.
That's the other thing
hard
too,
to
is
trust
that
them. It's hard to trust.
even good restaurants have bad days.
Yeah. But yeah, sometimes people write reviews on something that's not really relevant to the place.
Yeah, they go to
Like a
a
restaurant-
pizza restaurant and they're
or-
like, the pasta was terrible.
Or it's like,
What?
well, I went
Well,
there.
I don't know
and
that
they
I can
were
give you a
showing
get out of jail
sports on
free
TV,
card.
and I don't like sports, so I'm gonna give them 1 star.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like, okay, that's fine. That's a good thing to know for people who don't want to go to play sports. But it doesn't
That
have
being
anything to do with
said.
the food. Avian, I'm talking about like just reviews from the general public. Do I read reviews? Yes, absolutely. I rely on them heavily. Do I let them be the only determining factor in my decisions? No.
Bummer. I just found a spot on this model that I didn't paint. And I will probably have to paint. It's a weird spot. Underneath the floating divinity that has fallen, but not fallen because it's flying. There's a bunch of like skulls in there.
Oh, are there?
Yeah.
Oh no.
So I might just like mash a whole bunch of like bone in there, give it a wash,
Couple
of washes.
Exactly.
and then be done.
I lost my game of 40K at the game store. Restaurant is across the street from it. 1 star.
Yeah, exactly.
See, and Gilded Lion, that's exactly why you read the reviews, because maybe you just get takeout, and then you don't have to worry about the service. The food might be great, service might be terrible.
My girlfriend broke up with me at this restaurant.
Yes, 1 star.
review.
Exactly.
Man, I imagine
People
just,
do that.
Yeah.
Pro
That's the
didn't make me a
problem.
pro painter. Love the stream though. 3.5 stars.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's just because you didn't try hard enough. That's not our fault. We gave you the tools.
T. Schmidt, I'm starting to think I have
Uh-oh.
overcomplicated this croup project. Well, if you were trying to get it done in 4 days or whatever you said it was, not a very long period of time, then perhaps. Thank you for the follow, Gen Visual. Thor's pause. My wife thinks I'm great. She gives me 5 stars, but to be honest, she has not met a lot of people.
Yeah, you shouldn't lead with that.
That's right. You should keep it that way.
You shouldn't lead with that.
Keep her inside.
I feel like you could turn that into a positive. That reminds me of that Eddie Murphy skit. Eddie!
I want to talk to you.
Hey, somebody likes us.
So many factors. Definitely got to look at the number of reviews. If you open something up and it says 5 stars and it has 2 reviews, maybe you need to write a review after your visit. Schmidt said, bought the box Monday, travel painted for 3 days, home painting Thursday and Friday, tournament tomorrow morning. It's going to be a late night tonight. You can do it. We believe in you, T. Schmidt.
At least Jen does.
You have the tools. You have the know-how.
You've been here long enough. You should be able to pull this off.
You got this, T. Schmidt.
Am I making any progress?
Are you? Yes, you are.
Yeah.
I think so.
I feel like I'm not making much progress.
Looks a lot
Great
closer
company,
to done now.
awesome products, friendly staff, but some of them put tartar sauce on chicken, 4 stars.
Whoa.
Boy, I gotta tell you, that'd be a no from me. Gilded Line, what blew your mind recently was Pasta J's is a meme of a restaurant in Boulder. Very mediocre Italian restaurant in Pearl. But since it looks cool, everyone goes there once. But then I was in Moab and I was like, why is there a Pasta J's? Apparently there's 2 Pasta J's, Boulder and Moab. Same place? Same lackluster Italian food? Tim!
Hello, Tim.
Oh, hello.
You made it. 12 minutes.
What's going on, Tim?
Tim! Same place, same okay-ish Italian. Yeah, exactly. But it looks
looks
cool. Gotta count for something, right? Right? Maybe not.
I feel like we've probably been to those places too. Look really cool. Food's just meh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then you have a place that looks meh but tastes fantastic.
That's the places I like.
Chino
A little mom and pop
Bandito.
hole in the walls. They're like,
Chino
what
Bandito.
the?
Although I have not been to their new location, it might be nice
One day, Jen.
someday.
One day.
I had my fix a few weeks ago, so I'm.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
because
okay.
didn't Shelby get
Shelby
you some?
brought it for me.
That's awesome. Because she lives, like, really
She said
close
she
to
lives
her.
like right around the corner from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shelby was all super excited. She's like, I'm going to Chino Bandito tonight. What is Jen like? I was like, I have to get online to see. Because it's been so long, I can't
Favorite
remember what the
chicken.
menu was.
Black beans.
What do you get? Yeah.
Jade red chicken.
Jade red chicken
Jade
with
red
black
chicken, black beans, and jerk fried rice.
Ooh.
And I did it exactly right.
Let's see.
I actually like the chicken. You can get the chicken in a quesadilla, or a burrito, or just plain. I like the quesadillas. Panic Bomb. Have a great
Panic
weekend.
Bomb.
Thanks for hanging out.
Goodbye, Panic Bomb. We will see you later.
A little bit of the beard reflective color in the scales up at the top of his chest.
Chicken and waffles. That sounds good too.
I don't think I've ever actually ordered chicken waffles.
What?
Yeah.
We haven't gone to Lolo's?
No.
We haven't taken him. We haven't introduced him to the grandeur of Lolo's Chicken and Waffle.
I thought we did that when he came to visit.
Nope.
Oh my
Wait.
gosh.
We
No.
did go to a breakfast place. I don't know if it was
No,
Lolo's.
no, no. This is not a breakfast place. It's chicken and waffles. It's called Lolo's.
Then no,
Chicken
we
and
went to a
Waffles.
breakfast place
Okay.
while we were here. Yeah, it was closer to downtown. Is the place that we went to? I don't remember the name of it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember having breakfast, but I don't remember where we went.
Oh, yeah, we went and walked
It was like Matt's
downtown.
Big
It was that
Breakfast or
place.
I think it was Matt's Big Breakfast.
Yeah, Matt's,
Yeah.
maybe.
Very possibly.
Oso makes good chicken and waffles too, but it's not in their name. You can't go wrong with a place called Lolo's Chicken and Waffles.
Well, I mean, you could.
JP Gray, did we take you guys to Lolo's? Said it was so good. I've had it a few times here. Not the same. Okay. So JP Gray. I mean, and I haven't tried them at Oso, Gabe, but Lolo's sometimes has off days. They have some days where their chicken is not the greatest, and the waffles are not the greatest.
Well, if you guys want to go at some point, let me know. I'm usually free on the weekends. And my body is ready to try chicken and waffles. That's one of those things that doesn't sound bad, and I'm happy to try.
Great. T. Schmidt said, Fuse, can we get a faded yellow green sometime? Like a green khaki equivalent.
Well, maybe.
JP Gray will go with you to Lolo's, Jordan. He said it's a short flight.
It's a short flight.
Yeah.
You'd fly all the way out here just to have Lolos.
Okay, for Cammy, that's Jason. Yep, he is the master. He's the creator of all the paint, develops all the colors, all our products. Very,
Man,
very
the man.
experienced
Told ya.
painter here.
What's that? Thank you, whoever said that.
Cammy.
See you, Megalodon.
Thank you, Kami.
Have a great weekend.
Bye, Megalodon.
Megalodon, have a great weekend.
And maybe meet Cora. I have yet to meet Cora. One day. It shall be remedied.
JP Gray, she would, I don't know. You got a lot of dogs. Not sure how she'd feel about all that. Cora is, I think, really enjoying the weather.
The coolness.
The cool
and
weather.
Yeah.
And she's sleeping better in the cool weather.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
she's
she
just, like,
doesn't get up
zonked.
in the middle of the night. The past
Nice.
couple nights she hasn't gotten up. It's really nice. Because then I don't have to get up.
Jen's like, it's been so great.
She doesn't want to wake up in the morning because she's cozy. It's very cute.
Yeah, she definitely likes the cold weather. We all do. I think
Yeah.
she's just no different, right?
Good sleeping weather.
it's a little cold for me. Sometimes.
We've been opening our windows at night. It's so nice.
Are we done yet?
You're looking pretty close.
57? 76 here.
Below 60's not right. It's alright. I'm a fan.
I do like the heat nowadays, though. I've acclimated enough to enjoy some of that.
That's nice.
We got a weird time. We have one more week of 80s,
And that's gonna dip.
a week of 70s, and then 60s.
Oof, duh. I'm gonna come back from Idaho and it's gonna be freezing.
Feel like you hadn't left.
And
It'll
feel like I
you
haven't
hadn't
left. Yeah, pretty much.
45 in Maryland. Went from fire to ice too fast to get time to open the windows in Chicagoland. Yeah. It's been a nice couple weeks that we've been opening our windows at night. It's really nice.
It's been really nice here. The weather's been really good. Not too hot.
The lowest it gets here in Arizona, Slavic, it gets below freezing. It gets 20s for the lows. But we have a huge difference in our high and low temperatures usually. So it might be like a low of 28 degrees and a high of 68 degrees.
Oh, on
All in the
like
same
a single
day,
day.
yeah. Oof, Minneapolis in January is a weird time to move, yeah. 50 to 70 days in Houston, which means I can work on setting up the paint studio in the garage. That's, yeah.
You're looking to buy a printer, Kami? The Frozen 8Ks I hear are very good right now. We were not big fans of Frozen when we started our printing. They sent us a couple of 4K minis, and we gave away some 4Ks, and the printer was just a little too plasticky for us. Didn't feel very professional for the money you were spending. But they've gotten better with their manufacturing, so that I know that the Frozen 8K and the Frozen Mac, I forget what the Mega 8K is, the big one.
Yeah.
We have ePax printers here. We're big fans of ePax because they come in metal cases, but they're a little bit more expensive. Depends on what you're looking to buy.
Thor's Paws, it's a nice place to visit.
Arizona?
Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota?
Minneapolis.
Okay.
Elegoo. Everybody, it's one of those weird things because when you ask, like, it's like asking what's the best paint.
Yeah.
You know, everybody will have a suggestion. I feel like whatever, if you've had success with the one you have, it's a good one. I think any of them have the opportunity. I don't know that there are horrible ones. I mean, I'm sure there are, but if you stick to like Elegoo, Frozen, ePax, Creality, is Creality even make a resin printer? I think they do. Then you're probably pretty good.
Honey Lemons Cries in Canadian.
Lumberjack's got an inkjet printer. I forget the brand. HP, baby. I'm rocking an HP.
The dot matrix printer.
Nah, you're going old school. Showing your age.
Anybody know what that is?
Dot matrix, where it had the holes in the side of the
Yeah,
paper.
you had to rip that. It was like one big long thing of paper that folded back like accordion.
Yeah, they had the perforated.
Oh, that's what those were?
Yeah.
So good.
Okay.
It's loud and like shakes the whole thing as it goes back and forth. Awkwardish Panda said, I just heard the sound, OMG. I guess I gotta go check the doors real quick. Philip's not here.
Good old Philip, taking the day, resting his body and soul. Alright, I think
He's probably on his way here, I think.
I am pretty much done. What do you think, chat? Oh, I do need to paint the belt. I got a couple minutes. I'll paint the belt real fast. We're gonna paint the belt real fast. And we're gonna do kind of a pale jade color.
I'm trying to add back in a little bit of the shadow from the hammer's head and the crow. So I've just gone back to Payne's Gray. A little bit of white in it. We'll just kind of like so. We use the same color across all the areas of the model. So I'm going to come in here on the skin where I know I want some of this shadow. On the beard. That's going to work great.
Are you sticking around to play Magic tonight?
I'm definitely sticking around. I don't know what everybody's playing. I know some people are talking about doing some Age of Sigmar.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, no, my plan is to definitely stick around.
Very cool. Very cool.
That Payne's gray along the beard there is gonna give us the shadow I want up in this area. We just continually do it until we get the darkness we want without really posterizing, so to speak, the fact that it's Payne's gray, right? We're not trying to do anything that's very monochromatic. But the Payne's gray gives us a good shadow. It's already lives on the helmet up here, so the darkness from the shadow there, and then we just bring it down onto all the parts here as we get more and more of the composition brought together. Should work pretty good. Fun model.
That model?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
I have to tell Thomas John Paints, thank you for sending it, because I'm having a blast with it.
I like the model. I just wasn't really inspired to paint it. I think I've just seen too many of them out in the wild.
JP Gray, Magic, yeah, Ixalan came out today.
It did. Indeed it did.
You finally put the wings on your October challenge. Now you have to rework all your non-metallic metal.
Oops.
What happened? Why does it say welcome to the chat room?
What do you mean? Oh, the chat might have reset.
Oh.
Sometimes it loses. It did. I see it where it did it. Chat probably ended and then popped back in. Ended by like lost link with Twitch chat. But it is the time where we fondly bid you farewell.
Fondly.
We jump back into our... Well, we don't have duties. It's over. We're done. It's game night.
It is.
Ta-da!
Yeah, it is.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. Awkwardish Panda, it always makes you panic when it says, welcome to the chat room. It's like, I've been here for hours.
Yeah, I'm like, well, what happened? I mean, and for us, it's alarming because why is it starting over?
Yeah.
Discord.
Thank you, Awkwardish Panda. Appreciate it, everybody, for hanging out with us. We definitely know that taking time out of your day to hang out with fools on the internet is a hard decision. We're glad that you make the decision to spend your time with us. So hopefully you will find us again. Our schedule is Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It is new for this week. We have kind of, what would you call that? Normalized the schedule, so to speak, so that every day, same time. It's been great. Appreciate everybody sticking with us as we redid the time. It's the first time in years that we've really done this major change in time, but we're sticking at it 5 days a week. Gives you 5 chances to join up with us. Make sure you check out the links that Jen got into the chat there. The Discord server has thousands, literally, we're over 3,000 members on the Discord of amazing artists just like yourself. Great people to hang out, talk to. You can maybe find some people local to you and have great chats. We talk about everything from like 3D printing, like we were talking about today, pets, food, nerd stuff, fart jokes, and obviously painting lots and lots of minis. So we'd love to see you over there. Check out the store for all of the products that you've seen us use. All the paints and brushes and stuff are up there at monumenthobbies.com or the FLGS link to find a store more close to you and go support your local gaming store by buying our products there. So we hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Stick around for the raid we're going to do and show some love in the chat we wind up in. Look forward to seeing you back here on Monday, gang. We'll see you later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.